So I'm buzzing to welcome Daniel Ballard onto the podcast. Daniel's currently playing for Millwall, on loan from Arsenal, and of course he's a Northern Ireland international, which is fantastic. So Daniel, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Thank you for having me. No problem.
No problem whatsoever, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on. So mate, jumping straight into it. Obviously, you're at Millwall at the minute, and at Millwall, you're playing week in, week out in the Championship with one. How is it playing in the Championship week in, week out?
Yeah, I think it's been I'd probably say a big step up from League One, and then that was a huge step up from the under-23s. So I've had to adapt quickly and take on some new challenges, and so far I've really enjoyed it. And I'd like to say I've dealt well with the new challenges, especially this year. It's a lot faster tempo. The crowds are a lot bigger. Last year, obviously due to COVID, I wasn't really used to playing in front of fans. So to go from that to playing at the Den was a big jump. So I've really enjoyed it so far, and I'm just looking forward to getting back there and start playing again.
Unreal, mate. Unreal. It's fantastic. Like, it really is. It's someone at 22 to be playing a Championship week out. It's fantastic. You mentioned there about the crowds. Do you ever get a bit of stick from the fans, the away fans, or I suppose when you're playing away?
Yeah, I think more and more. I think the games are becoming sort of more important now, and we've had some big derbies at Millwall. I think the first game of the season was away to QPR, and that was packed out, a London derby. So to go from nothing to that, it was a bit of a shock. I mean, the noise when you're playing, it's the feeling you get is just undescribable. Yeah,
unreal. And I suppose that's just something that comes with the job. You have to deal with that part of it as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably something I was most nervous of, or worried if I could deal with that side of the game. But I think once you get out there, once you get playing, you sort of forget about all these things. And for any other young player coming through, I think you learn to adapt to it pretty quickly, and you start to enjoy it.
Amazing. So who was you said your debut was against, did you say QPR? Is that what it was, your first game?
First game in the Championship, yeah.
That's unreal.
It was QPR away. So
nice.
I think Millwall packed out the away end as well, and it was a sellout. So it was brilliant.
Nice. You've got a big following there with Millwall. Like, the term of the fan base it's amazing to play. I'm sure it's really good to play in front of those and week in, week out. Like,
yeah, I mean, especially the big games, they pack the whole place out, and Millwall fans are usually known for being quite aggressive on the front foot and
class,
helping the team. So when they're behind you and helping you out, and it's probably, I can imagine it's not a very nice place to come and play. So
nice. And have you been on the receiving end of it? Maybe you've had a bad game or team's not doing too well.
I'd say so. I think I do quite well to block it out. Of course, I've made my fair share of mistakes this season, so I mean, it does make it mentally. It's a lot more challenging after making a mistake, and the crowd does get on your back because, of course, everyone wants their team to win, and they get frustrated when you're not performing to the best. So it's understandable, but it's just about trying to be mentally strong and just dealing with it, and puffing out your chest when you make a mistake and getting back on the ball and going again.
Unreal, mate. Class, quality. So obviously you mentioned there playing for Blackpool last season. You've done really well. You got promoted. How was that getting promoted into the Championship? In terms of obviously, when, I know you obviously didn't stay with them, but the playoff and stuff, I'm sure that was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the whole year, sort of the whole process, I couldn't really ask for anything better. I went there and we had a really poor start to the season, and I think my first game I went there was another 1-0 loss, and you could feel the frustration within the changing room, and that was a big turning point. And I think we was right down low, maybe near the bottom of the table after 10 games, and we went on such an unbelievable run, and just to be in a winning side, and everyone feels confident, and we're going out there getting performances every week, and I think we didn't lose for 21 games, snuck into the playoffs, and then of course went and won it. And playing at Wembley is something I'll never forget. It was
unreal.
Yeah, that was some experience. So to have that under my belt at this age, it's really great.
Fantastic, mate. Really good. Was there obviously the last game? Who did you beat in the playoffs?
Lincoln.
Nice one, mate. Quality. Obviously you were moved from under 23s football down to League One. How was that transition?
It was really interesting because obviously I'd never really played men's football, and I think there's a massive shift from sort of learning, developing, practicing your skills, and then they throw you straight into a game where it's now suddenly all about 3 points, and that to some extent sort of goes out the window. And the players around you have been playing for years, and the manager's extremely demanding, the fans are demanding. So there's no, the shift it's not about you anymore. It's not about improving your skills or learning the game. You're doing the real thing now. So it was a massive shift, and something that I quite enjoyed, to be honest.
Quality. So I assume when you're leaving Arsenal to go out on loan, there's somebody, overlooking that to make sure you go to a club that suits your maybe ability or whatever in terms of playing out or whatever it might be.
Yeah, we've got a loan manager at Arsenal, and they try to help you find the right club and try to help you find a team, because it's not as simple as just because you play for Arsenal that teams are going to want to take you on loan. And I think that's something that maybe I wasn't necessarily shocked at, but I think a lot of other players are in my similar positions, and it's hard to find teams that, especially as a defender, want to take a chance on you and give you that opportunity to go and play. So you've definitely you've definitely proven yourself. So fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you. When you're at Arsenal, I'm just trying to think of boys around your age, the likes of Saka and stuff. Would you play with them lads? Yeah, so Saka's actually 2 years below me.
He's younger, yeah.
Yeah, but he's always played up with our age group, so I played with him a lot for the 18s and the 23s. And Smith Rowe's my age, so nice. I've played with him since maybe under 13s, 14s. So
quality.
Yeah, it's really nice to see them get the opportunity and then to take it, and you see how amazingly well them two are doing. And it's also nice to see players your age who maybe have a different pathway and have sort of gone on loan or left the club, and they're all starting to flourish now and start getting men's football. So yeah, everyone's got different pathways, and it's great to see when they're successful.
Definitely, made 100%. I'm sure with yourself, obviously playing for Arsenal from a young age and seeing the way Arsenal are playing now, I'm sure that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it gives. Yeah, there is still a real drive to go and hopefully one day represent Arsenal, and especially now when they're doing so well, and they're rebuilding the team with a lot of young players. It's there's not really a better time to go out and do well and hopefully get an opportunity.
Amazing, mate. Amazing. So we're obviously chatting a little bit before we came on, but currently you've got a little bit of a knock, but you should be back playing soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm back out on the pitch now. It was quite frustrating because I was really enjoying my time at Millwall, and I'd played most of the games this season, and I just felt really good. So that was a little bit of a setback, but I'm back out on the pitch now, and hopefully I can get back to playing within the next month.
Good. You've still got a big chunk of the season left, and I was looking at the table, like Millwall, you're doing all right. Like you can, a couple of results go your way, be up in and around the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the beauty of the Championship. Everyone's
Fighting for
so
it.
tight, and you can put a run of games together and suddenly find yourself up there. And the same if you lose some results, you find yourself near the bottom. So it's I mean, every team's always up for it, and every team, are strong, and they're going to fight, and they're going to do everything to win. So you really have to bring it to every game, and if you can put that run together, you never know.
What just when you said there about a couple of teams being hard in the league and stuff, is there any team that you can remember that sticks out? You're like, they were a hard lot to play against.
Yeah, I'll probably say the league leaders at the moment, Fulham.
Yeah.
They had a lot of quality in their team, and I think we really struggled in that game. And I felt like that was one of the hardest games of the season. So there literally is no easy games.
Yeah, I mean, Derby, fair play to what they're doing. Fair play to what they're doing. And it looks like, I know this isn't a Derby podcast, but look what Rooney's doing at Everton. Looks like he's his chances going to Everton. That's amazing. So obviously, we spoke about you being an Arsenal at a young age, but I've done my research, and I remember hearing before that you were released, and you've been released twice, or is that right? Or once maybe?
Yeah, I was actually released twice.
Madness.
Yeah, first time under 14s. There was some new ownership coming in, so they actually let me stay for another 2 years and said try and impress the new boys. I've been there since such a young age. They just give me another shot, basically. And then at under 16s, I was properly released. I wasn't offered my scholarship.
And how do you come back from that?
Yeah, it was a pretty strange few months. I mean, I went on trial at Southampton and ended up breaking my ankle a week later. So I couldn't trial at any other clubs. A lot of my mates had found new teams, and I think I was out for about 3 months. So the season actually ended, and I had no team. I actually had to sign up for my A-levels at school because I didn't know if there was a team that wanted me anymore, and it was a tough time. And Stevenage actually give me a trial, and I went to there for a week and played a game, and I done okay. And they said they were going to offer me a scholarship, which I was extremely relieved about. When the academy manager at Arsenal called me up and he said they've got a friendly against Bayern Munich with we need some players, basically. So I ended up flying to there a couple of days later. Played the second half, and on the plane journey home, he offered me my scholarship. So
unreal.
It was a big turn of events. I mean, I had no club a week before that, and during the week I was pretty set on signing for Stevenage, and then I was back at Arsenal.
Class, man, unbelievable. That's an amazing story. You must have had a good game out of Bayern Munich, did you?
Yeah, so I wasn't entirely sure of sort of my position. I was quite small at this stage, and I was going through like a growth period. I was quite late to grow compared to a lot of the other boys. I know that's quite frustrating as a kid in an academy when you see other lads around you are just much more powerful, stronger, faster. So for me, that was quite frustrating, and I had a little bit of a growth spurt, so they thought they'd play me at centre back, and that was sort of the first time I'd really played there, and I seemed to have a really good game, and they wanted to see how I could do there, basically.
I mean, and where did you play before that? Positional wise?
I was a right back as a young kid, and then I was sort of too slow for that position, so I sort of moved into midfield. But I never really, it wasn't really my position. I've always sort of been a defender at heart. So I think at the time I was playing midfield. I was going to sign for Stevenage as a centre midfielder. So yeah, thank God I didn't.
Class. That would have been good. Look, that's amazing, mate. And obviously we spoke about you playing in front of big crowds and Windsor Park. I'm sure that's some experience playing there. What was it like making your I suppose your first call up to Northern Ireland?
Yeah, so my first call up was actually quite a few years ago under
Michael O'Neill, was it?
Yeah, and he was sort of bringing me up in and around the team, not really to play or even to be involved, just to, I think, sort of get to know the lads, being around the squads, give me the first taste of like senior football. Yeah, and I've probably done that for a couple of years, and it was so good him doing that, because when I finally made the step to actually become playing, I felt so comfortable within the team. I sort of knew all the players already, and I'm just extremely thankful that he done that, because it really helped me settle down, and I wasn't too starstruck by the players around me, as you first are when you get these call ups. So that helped massively.
What was it like being in and around those lads? The likes of, obviously you've got your Evans and your, I suppose, Macaulay and stuff. I'm sure that was phenomenal.
Yeah, so I was extremely fortunate, because Macaulay and Hughes, they were coming towards the end of their sort of careers, and the knowledge that they could pass on to me, and just to being around them, and they might not have been exactly at their prime at that time, but it was probably even better for me, because they understood the game so well, and they were brilliant at helping me. And it was like, I don't know if they took it upon them that was their role at all, but it was I was extremely fortunate with timing.
Yeah, you can imagine those lads being like that, and I think you can sort of tell when a player is the likes of, obviously Aaron Hughes, Gareth Macaulay, the experience they have, and even Johnny Evans as well now. I'm sure that's amazing to play alongside those players. So your first appearance for Northern Ireland was it Romania maybe away, or was it home?
Yeah, Romania away.
Away, yeah.
That was after Johnny got COVID and couldn't travel, so I think I was going away with the under-23s initially, and so that was a great game. And I think I hadn't actually played 90 minutes in over a year from my previous knee injury and COVID. So it was, I really didn't expect it. And I come in and had quite a good game, and we actually got quite a good result out there, and with 10 men. So yeah, that was a great game.
Who got sent off that match? Was it Evans? No, Corey Evans? Was it? No,
I think it might have been Josh McGuinness.
Josh McGuinness, I think you're right. Josh McGuinness. Yeah. He just got to move to Wigan, didn't he?
Yeah.
Man, you know what? See, just talking about that, it must be unbelievable. Getting called up Northern Ireland, playing a match, and then eventually, making your debut at Windsor Park. How was playing at Windsor?
Yeah, the first couple of times was without fans, and the difference it makes. I've played there now once with the fans against Switzerland, and the difference it makes hearing the fans there. It's incredible. It really helps the team. And there was a period in that game where Switzerland were on top, and I don't know, I sort of come out of my body a little bit, and of course I was focusing on the game, but I was really taking in what was going on around me. The fans were singing and cheering, and I was on that pitch and I was a part of that team, and it was really it was a really proud moment. And yeah, I really look forward to getting back and hopefully playing there a few more times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you will. It's fantastic. I go to every Northern Ireland match with my dad, and there's something so special about Windsor Park. You know what I mean? There's something so special, and I'm sure, like you said, playing there is out of this world. And you've got a goal as well away to Lithuania. What was that? That wasn't up September, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was a couple of games before Windsor Park.
Yeah, class.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. That was a really high pressure game going into that as well, and I can't remember the last time we scored 4 in a game either. So that was a great night.
Unreal. Yeah, There was no fans allowed, but I see my uncle and stuff. Right, there was a few sneaky ways to get in, and they found their way in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that was incredible.
So how you said you've obviously that goal. What you scored? Am I right in saying you maybe got a couple for 23s?
Yeah, I think I scored Northern Ireland with the 21s. Yeah,
Nice.
That was I come into that. That was actually a really good run with the 21s. I think we actually was very close to qualifying, and I think I scored a winner against Iceland, and I think it was the last minute. So that was one of the goals that stick out in my head as well.
Unbelievable. Was it a wee header? Was it?
Yeah.
Class.
Yeah, it was.
Class, love it. But who, when you first came into the youth setup, was Ian Barclough about? Was he your coach maybe at 21s?
Yeah, he was the gaffer at 21s. He was the one that gave me my debut there, and then give me my debut in the senior team as well.
Amazing. So he's had a big influence in your career so far then?
Yeah, massive influence. And I've never had a manager who's really put so much trust and belief in me, and I'm so thankful for that, because it really given me the confidence to not just to play at Northern Ireland, but going back to my clubs afterwards, knowing that there's a top manager that really sort of believes in you and is willing to give you a chance. Yeah, it just gives you that real confidence boost.
Yeah, amazing. You look at obviously Ian Barclough, and obviously he came in and you had big boots to fill with Michael O'Neill. Like, what the job Michael done was fantastic, and Ian's come in and he's done really well. So to hear that from yourself, that he's a great manager, is amazing. For the fans, you always get a bit, yourself, you get a bit wary, a new manager coming in, but yeah, what, he's done fantastic. He's done really well.
Yeah, agreed.
You've obviously played for Northern Ireland. You've played for Blackpool. You had a spell at you played for Swindon?
Swindon in League Two, yeah.
What happened? How was that playing in League Two?
To be honest, I didn't get too much time there. I was injured in the second game of the season, so yeah, that was cut really short. So I can't really say too much about that.
All right, no, fair enough. I just remember, you're obviously playing at Swindon and you've moved through. That's amazing, mate. I'm gonna go through. It's been amazing so far. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
So who is? We'll start off with, what's the best game you've played in personally?
There's a couple which come to mind. Probably because it's still quite fresh on my mind. It's probably the playoff final, just because of the build up. Yeah, playing in such a high pressure game and getting the win that whole day was just amazing. Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be hard to top. Who's the best? And some of these questions are off Instagram and stuff, but who's the best player you've played against?
Probably has to be Haaland in the 2 Norway games. Yeah, he scored a couple of wins. That's one stung a bit.
I can't argue that one. That one. Yeah, that's amazing. Best player you've played with?
On a pitch, Johnny Evans by far, I'd say. And trained with maybe Mesut Ozil.
Again, that's not bad, both of them. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Johnny Evans, what's he like to play alongside?
Yeah, it just makes the game so easy for you, especially again as a youngish player, having him in your ear and he's constantly on to you. If you're not in the right position, he'll tell you. And again, sort of gives you that confidence, because you know how solid he is next to you, and if you're in the wrong position, he'll tell you. And he makes, you probably see it as a Northern Ireland fan, he makes the whole team better, and that's something that I'd like to do as I get more experience.
Definitely, mate. it's amazing to hear. Yeah, you're right. You can tell when he's playing, the whole team's got a lot more confidence, and rightly so. You know what I mean? He's a fantastic player. Who is the best coach you've either played under or maybe just worked with?
It's probably, I got a very short period training with Arsene Wenger, and I think although I probably didn't have the time to really appreciate it, I think he's probably one of the best coaches and the most starstruck I've been. But closely follows probably Michael O'Neill, just for giving me them opportunities and the detail and how well we managed the team, and I really enjoyed them and learnt so much on them occasions.
Amazing, yeah. Michael O'Neill and Arsene Wenger, that's not bad. And I can't let you say it without sort of getting a little bit of detail. What Arsene Wenger training sessions, mate? That's amazing. And what were they like?
Yeah, I think these were a few years ago, but he wasn't too active on the training pitch, but
right,
the little bits of detail he gives, and it's like almost like not a fear factor, but he just has that presence around him, and you want to go and impress a man like that.
Yeah, class, mate, unbelievable. I got asked this off Instagram. So, roommate in Northern Ireland? Do you have a roommate? Anyone that when you're away with Northern Ireland? Hello.
Sorry, just cut off there.
All right. So a couple of questions on Instagram. Is there a particular roommate you have in Northern Ireland when you're away?
Yeah, usually Connor Hazard.
Connor Hazard, right? Nice,
yeah.
nice. He's playing. Where's he playing at the minute? Celtic still, or is he away somewhere else?
I think he's still at Celtic. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
nice. What does your recovery look like after a game?
I try and be as active as possible. Last year I sat around too much after games. It didn't help. So try to get out and do something, whether it's walk the dogs or get on the bike, go for a swim, but definitely not just sit around.
How is your nutrition after a meal or after football, or what is your nutrition like after a match? Sorry.
Eat as much as you can, really. Especially when there's 2 games a week. I've just been trying to refuel as much as possible, just recover for the next game.
Nice. And does that change if obviously, like you said, if you have a big, say for example, you have a match on a Saturday and you have a match on Wednesday, will the recovery still be the same on a Saturday as it would be any other week, if that makes sense?
I think on the Saturday it'd probably be the same, because I struggle to eat, especially after games. But I think in the days in between, I'd definitely try and up what I'm eating, try to have an extra meal or some extra snacks or something.
Amazing. Another question, couple more. I think we've already covered this, but what's it like playing at the Dell every week?
Playing at the Den?
Yeah, the Den. Sorry, yeah. Call it Dell.
Yeah. Yeah, like quite an intimidating atmosphere. Really, very loud, very very demanding. So yeah, enjoyable, I'd say.
Class, mate, class. Another one, biggest footballing icon and why? And he also put a green and white army in after, just for a.
For me as a kid, it was always John Terry, just because my mum was a big Chelsea fan, so I was watching a lot of Chelsea as a kid, and he was always someone I'd wanted to be, always someone I looked up to and thought if I could be one player, it would be him.
Amazing. Cool. Yeah, some player to look up to. Yeah, that's class. Where do you? A couple more questions, mate. Where would you see yourself in 5 years?
It's a great question. Hopefully near in, or if not, playing in the Premier League. It's one league I've always dreamt of playing as a kid. So yeah, I think hopefully in the Premier League.
Class, mate. Class. Yeah, it's a smashing aim. And final question, mate. What are the standards like to be a professional footballer?
if there's something I would say, I think just enjoy sort of the everyday graft. Really enjoy putting the work in. Find a good routine that works for you. And yeah, sort of live to them. Find a nice balance between football and life, and yeah, just try to enjoy the graft.
Amazing, mate. What a way to end it. It's interesting to hear you say that. Find the balance between football and life. Quality, mate. Look, thank you very much for coming on. It's been amazing. I really appreciate your time, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of value for listeners. Thank you, mate.
No problem. Thank you.